Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The act of departing. Euphemistic expressions for death. Advancing toward a goal. Persuading him was easy-going. In full operation. A going concern. A variation that deviates from the standard or norm. The act of departing. Euphemistic expressions for death. The act of departing. The act of departing. Move out of or depart from. An opening that permits escape or release. Pass from physical life and lose all bodily attributes and functions necessary to sustain life. Euphemistic expressions for death. Lose the lead. The act of going out. The act of expelling air from the lungs. A coming to an end of a contract period. Euphemistic expressions for death. The amount by which the cost of a business exceeds its revenue. The company operated at a loss last year. Military personnel lost by death or capture. The disadvantage that results from losing something. His loss of credibility led to his resignation. Euphemistic expressions for death. Gradual decline in amount or activity. Weight loss. Something that is lost. The car was a total loss. The act of losing someone or something. Everyone expected him to win, so his loss was a shock. The experience of losing a loved one. He sympathized on the loss of their grandfather. Lasting a very short time. A passing fancy. Hasty and without attention to detail, not thorough. A passing glance. A bodily reaction of changing from one place or stage to another. The passing of flatus. Success in satisfying a test or requirement. His future depended on his passing that test. Going by something that is moving in order to get in front of it. She drove well, but her reckless passing of every car on the road frightened me. Of advancing the ball by throwing it. A team with a good passing attack. To an extraordinary degree. She was a surpassingly beautiful woman. Euphemistic expressions for death. Thousands mourned his passing. The motion of one object relative to another. Stellar passings can perturb the orbits of comets. American football. A play that involves one player throwing the ball to a teammate. The coach sent in a passing play on 3rd and long. Allowing you to pass, e.g., an examination or inspection, satisfactorily. A passing grade. The end of something. The passing of winter. Part with a possession or right. Let something fall or spill from a container. Music. The act or manner of terminating a musical phrase or tone. A device that when pressed will release part of a mechanism. Activity that frees or expresses creative energy or emotion. The act of liberating someone or something. Grant freedom to. Free from confinement. Make assets available. Release the holdings in the dictator's bank account. Release, as from one's grip. Release, gas or energy, as a result of a chemical reaction or physical decomposition. A legal document evidencing the discharge of a debt or obligation. The act of allowing a fluid to escape. Prepare an issue for public distribution or sale. Eliminate, a substance. The plant releases a gas. The termination of someone's employment, leaving them free to depart. Make information available for publication. Release the list with the names of the prisoners. An announcement distributed to members of the press in order to supplement or replace an oral presentation. Euphemistic expressions for death. Generate and separate from cells or bodily fluids. Release a hormone into the bloodstream. A formal written statement of relinquishment. A process that liberates or discharges something. There was a sudden release of oxygen. Merchandise issued for sale or public showing, especially a record or film. A new release from the London Symphony Orchestra. Advancing toward a goal. The proposal faces tough sledding. The sport of riding on a sled or sleigh. Engaged in or ready for military or naval operations. On active duty. Chemical agent capable of activity. Used of verbs, e.g., to run, and participial adjectives, e.g., running, in, running water, expressing action rather than a state of being. Taking part in an activity. An active member of the club. In operation. An active tradition. The voice used to indicate that the grammatical subject of the verb is performing the action or causing the happening denoted by the verb. The boy threw the ball, uses the active voice. A person who is a participating member of an organization. The club issues a list of members, both the actives and the retirees. Characterized by energetic activity. An active toddler. Disposed to take action or effectuate change. A director who takes an active interest in corporate operations. Engaged in full-time work. Active duty. Exerting influence or producing a change or effect. An active ingredient. Expressing that the subject of the sentence has the semantic function of actor. Hemingway favors active constructions. Full of activity or engaged in continuous activity. An active seaport. Of e.g. volcanoes, capable of erupting. Of e.g. volcanoes, erupting or liable to erupt. Active volcanoes. Of the sun, characterized by an increased occurrence of sunspots and flares and radio emissions. Tending to become more severe or wider in scope. Active tuberculosis. Something that people do or cause to happen. Something that people do or cause to happen. Pretend to have certain qualities or state of mind. He acted the idiot. Behave unnaturally or affectedly. She's just acting. Something that people do or cause to happen. A legal document codifying the result of deliberations of a committee or society or legislative body. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. Think before you act. A short performance that is part of a longer program. He did his act 3 times every evening. Perform on a stage or theater. She acts in this play. Have an effect or outcome, often the one desired or expected. How does your idea work in practice? Behave in a certain manner. Show a certain behavior, conduct or comport oneself. You should act like an adult. Play a role or part. She wants to act Lady Macbeth, but she is too young for the role. A manifestation of insincerity. He put on quite an act for her benefit. A subdivision of a play or opera or ballet. Be engaged in an activity, often for no particular purpose other than pleasure. Be suitable for theatrical performance. This scene acts well. Discharge one's duties. She acts as the chair. Something that people do or cause to happen. A legal document signed and sealed and delivered to effect a transfer of property and to show the legal right to possess it. He signed the deed. Pass from physical life and lose all bodily attributes and functions necessary to sustain life. The event of dying or departure from life. Upon your decease, the capital will pass to your grandchildren. A coming to an end of a contract period. The expiry of his driver's license. The event of dying or departure from life. The time at which life ends, continuing until dead. She stayed until his death. The time when something ends. It was the death of all his plans. The event of dying or departure from life. Her death came as a terrible shock. A final state. The absence of life or state of being dead. He seemed more content in death than he had ever been in life. The act of killing. He had 2 deaths on his conscience. The permanent end of all life functions in an organism or part of an organism. The animal died a painful death. The personification of death. An ability that has been acquired by training. The action of accomplishing something. The action of accomplishing something. Kill intentionally and with premeditation. Send away towards a designated goal. The property of being prompt and efficient. It was done with dispatch. Killing a person or animal. The act of sending off something. An official report, usually sent in haste. Complete or carry out. Dispose of rapidly and without delay and efficiently. He dispatched the task he was assigned. Kill without delay. The traitor was dispatched by the conspirators. The act of passengers and crew getting aboard a ship or aircraft. The act of passengers and crew getting aboard a ship or aircraft. The act of breaking away or withdrawing from. A breaking away from family and neighborhood. Departing hastily. An acknowledgement or expression of goodwill at parting. The act of departing politely. He disliked long farewells. An abrupt and unannounced departure, without saying farewell. Leave unchanged or undisturbed or refrain from taking. Leave it as is. Remove oneself from an association with or participation in. She wants to leave. Leave behind unintentionally. Produce as a result or residue. Transmit knowledge or skills. Leave your name and address here. Put into the care or protection of someone. Leave your child in the nurse's care. Move out of or depart from. Leave the room. The period of time during which you were absent from work or duty. A 10 days leave to visit his mother. Be survived by after one's death. The act of departing politely. He took his leave. Go away from a place. At what time does your train leave? Leave or give by will after one's death. Make a possibility or provide opportunity for, permit to be attainable or cause to remain. This leaves no room for improvement. Act or be so as to become in a specified state. Go and leave behind, either intentionally or by neglect or forgetfulness. Have left or have as a remainder. 19-8 leaves 11. Permission to do something. She was granted leave to speak. The act of departing politely. A line of scalp that can be seen when sections of hair are combed in opposite directions. The act of departing politely. Parting is such sweet sorrow. The activity of flying a glider. The work of a sailor. Riding in a sailboat. The departure of a vessel from a port. Goods carried by a large vehicle. The act of sending off something.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.